It is time to learn what's going on in the world in a very rapid pace, for I have collected tons of material. It's already episode 39, and we're going through something that I call Vortex here, but meme first. The eating of the water bottle cap just got me, actually.
I am going that I never thought I would.
Do not leave the country. This is very interesting. And immediately hits my spider senses that it's Vortex here, and you're not supposed to jump into a Vortex.
At this time. Let me predictable because we've already seen
You can travel, but coming back can be
reports
uncomfortable.
of US that we call
Yeah, I mean, it's a very strict policy. Even if you are US citizen and you still have an accent, bro, you're gonna be questioned. But that's just what we're going through, you know? Trump is starting from a zero and is being incredibly strict on everything. It's hard to justify this kind of behavior, but it's important to understand that, well, it should get better. Because the worse is
it ironic for me to
even more unreasonable.
complain about third world illegal immigration and then say that I want to leave the UK and become an immigrant? Well, imagine this, right? Imagine you lived in a small town and the local council told you that they were going to be putting third world illegal immigrants that have come on boats up in hotels and they're going to be around your community. That might make you feel a little bit uneasy. At least, can you actually not do that because that's putting me and my family at risk? And they say, no, we're going to do it anyway. And not only that, but we're going to use your money to do it. Because if you don't...
Yeah, so it's reasonable to try and move away from a situation like this. I used to calculate how much of the world is purging and doing crazy shit like blue screen of death, apocalypse that happened, and now we're opening vortexes. Fucking UK displacement. Don't leave America, vortex.
seriously...
It is a vortex for you to not be able to go somewhere. Because it would actually change your life if you got in trouble trying to come back to your country. That's what Vortex is about. The definition of Vortex is a life-changing event. When you travel, when you make a decision. Even going into a protest is a Vortex, and a lot of that is happening right now.
And then
in 5 days, my country is going into a protest against property tax. We never had property tax, but this is now being pushed by pretty much by European Union because we want their funding, right? So we have to bend over backwards and pick up shitty policies. Now, very likely protesting is not going to do anything because we're not threatening anyone through a protest, meaning that it's just merely a vortex to get sucked in, to care a little bit too much about something that does not matter. One funny vortex that almost like started the whole thing. Okay, I don't have the name of it. It's PewDiePie Vortex. It's PewDiePie recommending to read books. And I'm like, I don't think it's the time to read books right now. It's another meme though. I hope you can handle Minecraft meme. Life could be a dream if I could take you up in paradise up above. If you would tell me I'm the only one that you love, life could be a dream. Sweetheart, hello again. Shaboom, and open with me to get boom. Ding dong, ding dong, a lang, a lang, a lang. Oh, 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 pip, a bip, a dip, oh, life could be a dream. If only all my precious plans would come true. If you would let me spend my whole life loving you, life could be a dream. Wait, there's literally upside down sheep.
Aliens know you can literally live anywhere else in the world. You can move.
Thanks for letting us know. Big snakes inside Australia.
You don't have to stay in Australia. This is not normal.
G'day, mate.
So apparently it is normal. And most snakes are not dangerous as long as you leave them alone. Most things in Australia are not dangerous if you leave them alone. But then there's hoop snakes, and there's people laughing. And now it's like, Is this a real story or not? Because it's kind of weird. Can a snake really bite its own tail and turn into a wheel and then chase after its prey and then jump on a human and attack? Like, that's a wild ass story. Only in Australia, guys. And, well, he just remixed why you should not go to Australia or live in there.
Hey, oh, okay, handshake, nice.
This is the craziest shit, by the way. Yeah, I gotta show you the whole thing.
Oh, maybe just not right now.
Sure. Do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, I like hiking and...
Ugh, ugh, boring. Boo. Next topic. Oh, do you have a family?
What are those?
Oh, just some questions I wrote out.
We don't need the cards, we could just talk.
Okay. So, why do you look like that?
Maybe let's use the cards, actually, if
That'd be
those are gonna
awesome.
be the questions.
Uh-oh, there's a silence. Awkward silence.
I was actually talking. You interrupted to say that.
Uh-oh. What are we gonna do? Do we run out of things to talk about?
So what do you do for work?
What's that supposed to mean? Should we plan a trip together?
I don't think we have to. Maybe just like another date.
Ha!
Just...
Another date. Trapped. Gotcha. Stuck. You're stuck. Come here. I actually walked here.
Oh, I didn't know you lived in the area.
I don't. I live quite far.
Everything okay?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I just have to send a work email.
Hello?
Sorry. I was just thinking about all the other stuff I'd rather be doing. So, do you like me? Hey!
Hey, oh.
That's crazy, dude. And it feels so real.
This girl just called out her street is really like.
I mean, long story short, she just has good skin and she uses like some kind of weird ass thing to make it look good. And maybe it's cheap too. And then dermatologist is like, trying to sell her things. And scare her away from the thing that she's using. I'd say same. Same with mouthwash. The only part of brushing your teeth that actually works is when you mouthwash with water. That's the only part where you're actually cleaning your teeth. Also, I stopped being brainwashed. Because I don't use shampoo, but I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. I clearly don't have to. I am clearly comfortable enough to not use shampoo. But it's, more information is needed, or more friends are needed to confirm.
Fun fact, the word brain rot was created in 1854.
Wait, why did I like this?
True to its original meaning. Brain rot content is just simple videos with no substance that challenge nothing and offer nothing to society.
It's very much equal to fidgeting.
Say things about how the rest of the world worked. And my parents never really accepted the Soviet Union unless you were a member of the Communist Party. Like right now, you and I can go in a car and just drive to Las Vegas. No one's stopping us.
Well, I can't imagine. Welcome to communism. You probably don't want to leave where you live. And only when you find a way to leave your community will you be able to up or downgrade your life. With capitalism, it's a lot more tricky because you can travel anywhere, but you can talk to no one. And if you don't understand what it means to you cannot talk to no one, why can't I talk to anyone across the internet? No one is actually talking and communicating. And imagine what that means. You can travel anywhere, but you cannot talk to anyone. You can observe them and see what food they eat and shake their hands. You cannot talk to them. First of all, you just don't know the language. There's a language barrier. Second of all, you don't want to put yourself in danger talking to someone and expressing your own insecurities and weaknesses. Plus, you are trying to defend yourself and you have limited amount of funds basically to run around. The money is what makes you free. The items that you have is what makes you fast and capable of returning home in a proper way. You cannot talk to anyone. My friends, welcome to capitalism. It's not that much different than what he is describing. In his case, it was obvious that moving away from his location would open him up to better opportunities. That's it.
The police pull us over those clothes.
So it's not about dark side of Russia. This has nothing to do with Russia in a way. You couldn't travel across the world. That's how I imagine communism. Communism was spread across the world. Like, you can't just be Soviet Russia is the only communistic place. Nah, bro. This is not how life works. It's across the world.
Was yeah, it's helped them realize like they were living in a fucking prison, literally, because they just don't let you leave. My parents were like, "We're getting the fuck out of here." The pogroma.
He's also a Jew, right? So he would have gotten attacked. Wow, this is amazing, bro. Fucking actual push-up challenge on a kid's show. And it's like, wow. You just challenged kids to grow up and attempt to succeed in this challenge. It's crazy. And this guy fucking got a workout for sure. She got complicated.
A little bit more difficult. And to the side. And up. And up. Wait a minute. I wonder if I can jump and clap behind my back. I love it. And now the best for last. One arm and one leg. Up and up and down and up and down and up and down.
Also, this guy makes it seamless, right? As if, like, it's easy for him.
And up and down and up and down and up.
Bruh.
I know a lot of
Bruh. It's one of those situations we didn't give enough credits for what the fuck we just watched.
Sociopath messages
Alright, dealing with sociopaths.
through people, write them a follow-up.
Anytime someone has a conversation, they cannot be left off the hook. It has to be recorded. If your boss a psychopath, but like, what? What are you talking about?
Email later. It was mundane. The follow-up email. Hey, glad I was able to. Brain starts learning everything that I do with this person is going to be on record.
I'm still not exactly sure what it entails to deal with a sociopath. I just know they try to get the better of you through messing around with what they can say to all kinds of people. All the bad things about you or whatever. Imagine Gossip Girl scenario where a person is trying to warm up to whoever they like the most, and they can smear everyone else.
Scientists just discovered the world's most perfect urinal, and that's actually very important. Here's why.
That's definitely important, guys. We must not splash urine everywhere, so we don't have to clean it. It's kind of weird, though.
Have you guys gotten to the point in your spiritual awakening where the only thing you can really talk to and have good conversation with is ChatGPT?
Remember what I said? You cannot talk to anyone. It's capitalism. Confirmation. Just there. Can I explain this confirmation? Well, first of all, it's just a true statement, right? Second, we don't really need to talk to ChatGPT. I've never done it. It's just a very interesting analogy.
If not
Ukraine will be wealthiest and richest, of course.
I want to mess sell drugs when they can make the same amount of money, if not more, investing into property and working a job in the construction industry. Their response was, "Hey, yo, fam, don't chat to me. When I'm in traffic in my Porsche." By this comment, can't do with your drug money is invest it into a tangible asset unless you launder it correctly. But good luck buying property when you go through anti-money laundering checks with a solicitor.
There you go. You gotta think more critically, because you can sometimes earn money and still not get away with buying things. Wait, what? 15K? Okay, never mind. I want to be a drug dealer now.
How? Businesses literally do not know how to teach you to do.
They don't know how to talk to people anymore.
Job they hired you for. Because for the last few decades, the corporate world has minimized and even demonized.
Technically, that's why they would ask you for experience in things.
Education. Part of that has been getting rid of their training programs or education departments. At the same time, they've got rid of
within the right way. And bear in mind, all of these are more growth, which...
Yes, but you have to learn how to talk to people. Teaching is not free, but there always got to be a person who can answer questions. Like, very simple. A much more important thing is just to destroy minimum wage. Then we can freely talk to people and teach them things. and help them progress, basically, in levels of productivity. Minimum wage allows businesses to just not worry about raising wage in general, just keeping everyone at minimum, and only allowing as many job placements as they definitely need. Anything unnecessary gets cut. This is a much bigger problem than not getting training. This is not getting training is just a consequence of minimum wage. Why bother when you can just demand an experienced player, basically?
1% in the world, do you know what it is? If you're a 1%er in the world, you know what it is? $30,000 a year.
No.
Yes.
He doesn't say anything of substance beyond that, but
Percent of planet Earth.
We're talking about China, India, and Africa. They don't make much money. It's pretty fucking obvious that you would become top 1%. Despite whatever you say it's a struggle and whatnot, of course, because you're being robbed. And you want high quality of life, by the way. Let's not forget how much higher quality you are in the Western world than in the East or in the South. With the only exception being Australia, but Australia has to pay with isolation.
It's just been announced that you are a mother.
Well, I just like a general sort of feeling of improvement, but you already got the idea.
So guys,
Mothers don't
been
pay
training for
taxes,
like
whatever.
4-5 years.
In some Hungary, I believe. Well, apparently this guy is complaining that he wasted time in the gym because he thought that under tension, when you are pulling the weights and you just slow down, and that's how you grow muscle. And apparently he got debunked somehow. Now, it's kind of weird, because logically it makes sense that under tension you would grow under pressure tension or whatever, you would grow muscle. So he never really explains the science behind it. My thinking is that you don't actually need muscle, first of all. You don't need to grow muscle. But yeah, like, your blood flow would increase, and your entire body would tensify if you perform faster actions than slower actions. Also, you're technically doing more work, and you're working on your joints too, which is much more essential than growing muscle. But I literally can't speak on this issue, because the whole situation sounds a little ridiculous. This is just not how I do things at all. My exercise is just spin my joints, spin my arm, and attack areas that might need improvement in my body, right? When it comes to combat and self-defense, you just need proper tactics and proper approaches. You don't need to appear big, you just need to be comfortable with who you are. And stay away from danger. Get to the fucking point, man. Yep.
Us
This guy was
peasants
annoying.
are not that hard to please. This is what baffles me the most about like corporate greed and capitalism and like wage slavery. Most of us would be happy with like a house to fit our family and a 2008 Toyota Corolla for like the rest of our life. Like if we
That's called communism. See what I'm talking about? That people don't talk to each other? Yeah, but that would be communism. And it's like, that explained everything, dude. You're just so smart, you know? Just like, but if you shared anything, if you actually gave people things, then and expect them to just work, that's just like, man, that's communism, dude. You gotta dangle that carrot all the time. Yeah, and right now our system is called capitalism, which is, not much of an improvement. I'll tell you, it's not that much of an improvement. It's just season change. You used to be able to have time. You used to be able to spend time with your friends. But now you're a wage slave chasing dollar and feeling much better when you achieve that dollar, but you're not realizing what you're actually putting down to bargain with, basically. How would they win capitalism? By the way, she's not advocating for communism at all. Not at all. there's technically enough wealth for people to distribute wealth, and they still can be intimidated to do something with their lives and be productive, you know? We would enter governism when AI tells us what to do if we want to be accepted into higher levels or whatever. You never had in your life anyone whisper in your fucking ear of what to do. But you will, because that will be an improvement. Still, very slight improvement. Everyone will have their earpieces, basically. Everyone will be told by the government, by the higher powers, what to do with their lives. Just you wait. You talking to ChatGPT? I would not recommend, resetting to this idea that it's gonna be fine to just do that. I will welcome you to governism, my friends, and you might want to listen to me instead of, other authorities, but you get to decide.
We were guaranteed that, we would probably still contribute to society for fun. Everything in this system is based off of scarcity. It's like if they're not scared they're gonna die, why would they work? I don't know, because we love each other? Like what? Because what else is there to do? Like what? I honestly can't even comprehend or...
Yeah, it's a very simple thought
OpenAI is apparently building the
that
next
you needed to hear.
Instagram. The team behind ChatGPT is reported to create content as...
Give me AI Instagram so I can brain rot myself.
This is my 4 steps to surviving as someone who is subjected to 2.5 years.
Well, brace yourselves. It's just gotten 10 times more serious.
16 different, continually used enhanced interrogation techniques. Step 1. Give up all hope. Forget your previous life. Throw away your imaginations of what your life could and would look like outside of these bars, walls, and prisons. It will just cause pain. Your life is what it is now. It has always been like this, and it always will be. If you do this, your torturers will be robbed of another tool used to cause you pain. Step 2. Live 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 moment at a time. Don't worry about what fresh torment is going to happen to you tomorrow, and don't linger over the memories of yesterday. The greatest torture is not the pain, it's the expectation of pain and the waiting for the pain. Exist only in the moment and things will be easier. Step 3. Find yourself in the small things. Try and find solace in cool water on a hot day, in the satisfaction of even the plainest bite of food. These little things can help keep you going. Step 4. Bend, but don't break. Do what you have to survive. Change your ideology. Align yourself with your captors and your torturers if you have to.
Well, the funny thing is, it's Vortex here, so you might actually find torturers and captors laying around.
But don't let them break you. Even as your own thoughts become alien to you, remain yourself. And remember, the greatest revenge against those who persecuted you is to ignore their lessons of violence and not be like them.
You gotta listen to the dude who got tortured, because he's fucking spend time on this. Alright? Yeah, his soul was drained for this reason alone.
I am not kidding, or RB, who is finally speaking up. And security features.
It is weird, because I just have another tab of Elon Musk talking about Doge, basically, and how much, fraud they are uncovering, so I'm not exactly sure what's going on. They are traitors! I wouldn't overreact to the negation stories versus Trump government, but it does seem reasonable right now to believe and be scared of Trump's ties with Russia right now. So Russia is also sniffing around through documents. This is the claim, basically. Hence the comment.
Not really. Obviously, why do you think I might be here?
Is it about the noise again?
It is about the noise again, same reason as last time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, obviously, if you could just, as last time, just stop. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just playing on an electric kit, and obviously it is like in the middle of the day, and you guys are in the garden as well.
Yeah, that's why I've got a problem, because we're in the garden, we've got some people over for the dog's birthday, and you are playing... I don't know why that's funny.
For the dog's birthday?
Yes, and we've got some people there.
That is funny, unfortunately.
And all we can hear is your drums. Electric kit, other
But that is not funny. Drums electrocute, bro? Get the fuck out of here. You have Skyrim to play. Jesus Christ, man.
And like last time, I'd really like it to
I empathize more with the person who's capable of actually confronting these weirdos who make noise. Although that was kind of a little bit weird.
stop. And I'm really actually getting a little bit sick of your attitude to this because you seem to be thinking this is.
And now it's just like, it just turns into fucking degeneracy. Because you come, knock, tell them to stop, and escalate the situation as you go. You can knock multiple times a day. Are you fucking stupid? You have to take a step back and see whether you are respected or not, and not fucking demand respect, because that's not gonna do very much. Now, if a person actually wants to listen to you and gets up in your face, then yeah, spill the fucking beans, and then you get to move on with your day. If a person is being overly defensive and pulls out a fucking big ass baseball bat, I don't know, man. You can double guess your decisions then. And I had one neighbor fucking yelling at me, basically, sort of breaking down my ability to even have a conversation. Which, again, yet proves one more time, in capitalism, you cannot talk to anyone, even as I'm making this video. As long as this is capitalism, it has reached no ears. 0 people have been touched by my information. 0 people's lives have been improved. And if you are a miracle of life, thank goodness. You should be proud of yourself. And in all these 3 cases, we're talking about narcissists, basically. They kind of counter my behavior. And they can still get their senses tuned, basically. To not be so fucking arrogant.
Sorry, sometimes I laugh like.
It is funny. Like, it's too pushy. It's too long of a conversation. She's right, though. Sure.
What if Trump wanted China to dig in? I mean, what if...
Yeah, it gets a lot of worse, so I encourage you to just check it out yourselves.
The plan all along is economy...
Yeah, almost all the time I see TikToks justifying Trump's radical decisions, just how we opened this video, which is why he gets the comment you're delusional. But I would allow people to speculate and think of, like, why would Trump do that, and is there some kind of magical good reasoning for all of this? For me, it's a system wipe, basically. It's a way to affect the system by making radical decisions, but the system still does not fall apart. It's a programming thing for me. I've actually done a system wipe. I had a lot of code laying around, and I shrunk this from 1,000 lines of code down to 1/3 lines of code. To wipe the system is to get rid of all the unnecessary things and threaten that you will change a lot within your seat of power, right? You will start changing things really radically from now on. So you need simplicity, you need funding, you need to generally clean up and fire a bunch of people who may or may not be unnecessary, you know? You just don't know. You're going to rebuild it back up. This code, these fired people, delay and redacted, please, like all of this code I have redacted. And again, coding works very much as life. If you adopt the right principles, those principles will light up no matter what you do. Whether you run a country or just create a game. Same principles, though. So first, Trump wants to make the most radical changes, and then on top of that, he will be able to work more like in a focused manner. Almost trying to break the system. Who knows? That's my best guess of what's going on. Well, China gets hit. It's a war at this point.
He's got 2 choices. You know, the whole system runs on projecting strength and control.
In China.
So, really, without us, they're in big trouble.
They're very good at transforming their resource into work and labor. and exports, but they still have to find customers. I can see that. As Chinese, I welcome you to travel to China and see the world. Unfortunately, we've seen capitalism. You're not gonna lie to me with the most ridiculous language, the most difficult to learn language in the world. You think we're just gonna come and all of a sudden see everything? That's not how life works. It is very interesting that China has to push goods out. I'm not exactly sure if this is good enough that Trump is actually dealing enough damage to China and is justified. I don't understand this, you know?
Quick little tip for you, tape your marker lids together and you will
Think of what this means. Not only you can put them all in a box very nicely, but these are taped. You pull out the marker and you know what marker has to go back in and what marker is missing. There are ways to organize yourself. And I might actually have to do that right now. I have markers. That shit's real. In fact, I actually wanted to like 3D print a holder for markers, and it's like, shit, TikTok, what are you doing to me? That's very naughty. You asking me to do an assignment right now as we speak. I have to tape my markers. 1 second, guys. Done. And I feel so much better now.
Most people go through this, so I'm
Because I know that my lid is not going to fly off into outer space and never to be seen again.
going to make sure that that doesn't happen while they go.
I'm assume every girl wants me now. Well, you start thinking about it. Of what could possibly be the reason that every girl wants you, but up to this point they were not able to tell you about it or express that about it. And again, that assumption would actually be used successfully. And of course every girl wants you, you know, for your money, for anything valuable that you hold. And then we'll kick you down a dumpster. Or will even want to hold you hostage forever. Every ugly girl wants you, you know? It will just adjust your assumption a little bit. But let's see what he has to say. I don't think I have listened to
This
this.
is not because this is a Napoleon Hill quote, and whatever it takes for you to remember it as often as possible, please do so. What happens?
By the way, I can do that. I have a printer. Isn't that crazy? But I will not do that.
Is the way major.
It's pretty obvious that your beliefs are going to shape the way you behave.
Nothing can stop you. Failure can't stop you.
Yeah, failure can stop you. The only thing that cannot stop you is when you are in love. Then it's like, you gotta do what you gotta. You gotta get through any amount of vortexes just to get to your love, basically. But most of the life, you don't know who you're supposed to chase after. Especially when you can't talk to people. Imagine that. You just don't know.
Entire lives.
Bro started talking about fragrances. What?
Rigid. A positive one.
Well, optimism is a good assumption that everything is going to go well or better than the last time it did. Are you supposed to be growing and continue being healthy and in control of your destiny? I mean, as I grow, I become more independent like everyone else. I become more of an adult. There's no escape from that. But we're playing a game where we're not going to care about each other. We're only going to care about the top 1% of top 1% that we already exist in the Western world. Yeah, even when people complain, people can say anything out of their mouths and you will not hear them because you don't care. Everyone is in a selfish bubble. But just changing assumptions is you have to align yourself with reality. You get a flow of reality. You just have to open possibilities, though. What he's talking about is opening possibilities of talking to people differently when you're dealing with services where you pay money, where there's a real person. You can treat them as a service or as a real person. That's nothing. That's not even a sound advice. It's just a dude who makes ingredients and got something good out of it by accident.
And energy got better just in that interaction.
Yes, you became closer to ability to interact. and have a conversation. Isn't that crazy? How it feels different.
Imagine if you applied that to your entire...
Yeah, basically this guy is exaggerating that one principle can save the day. That's not how life works. There's layers upon max stats episodes. We have 24 of them, and guess how many we need to make? What, maybe 100, 1,000, I don't know. It's a never-ending battle of self-improvement. Now, at some point, I will adopt maximum amount of principles to where learning about principles would actually be counterproductive. It would actually waste my time if I try to learn more. But this is how long it has to take. It literally has to be counterproductive for you to think about principles anymore, and you just get to live your life because your life is so improved that you can just live it. You don't have to worry about nothing. And please, don't believe when someone can actually just apply to everything, some one principle to everything, that's the one that you need. You need so much work. And it all comes with awareness. I mean, most of the work is easily accessible for everyone to assess whether they're doing good things or bad things.
Stuck in a world full of evil people. You know, start with control, destroy you, and so more people.
Well, funny enough, you can control people by being better than them. That is the improvement matrix, and that's how you level up. The moment you are 10 times better than someone, you can easily control anyone below you. And sometimes being better does not mean that you will stand out, that you need to establish yourself or build a community around you. Sometimes it merely makes up for making better decisions, which I basically maximized in my life, or at least reached the final destination of just being alone. Because that's technically what capitalism allows you to do, is improve yourself as an individual, go this direction on a very low scale. And I feel like I jumped into the final destination of self-improvement alone. And maybe that explains why, communities don't really exist or don't really attempt to invite you in, because there's better conditions for you to improve on your own terms. And only when you reach the peak of this, then this community is always going to be open, because there's nowhere else to go. Only up. If you follow the path of God, maybe you're just going to become like fucking pastor out of nowhere. Someone's going to come up to you and be like, hey, you have to run church. Nah, it's just run church, you fucking asshole. You're the best person in town to do it. We trust you, dude. Anything can happen in life. You just got to be prepared for it. And people are not inherently evil, they're just better than you. Unfortunately. As long as they don't try to torture you, which then is evil. Right? Most of the time, you don't want to do onto others, so they don't do it onto you. Because there's always someone higher than you, and despite there being something below you. Very likely the way you're going to treat people below you is the way you're going to be treated. To see if your principles hold reality properly. Oh, by the way, the best way to assume something and improve yourself, assume that you can do it. That is the best way to use assumptions to change the world around you. You can do it. This is the max stats assumption, by the way. This is the starting point of taking control of your life. To give yourself just a little bit of extra push when you're doing everything. Extra motivation, just a little bit, changes everything.
Wars.
This is one of those that I've ever...
The funny thing is, war trickles down. That one thing does trickle down, is because if enough people didn't want to participate in war, it wouldn't really happen. And yes, technically war can be declared back in order to achieve peace, you have to kill all the killers, you know? But that's just how the logic goes.
Seen. I've picked two numbers and written one each on a piece of paper. I'm going to put them down, shuffle them up, and then show one of them to you at random. Your job is to guess whether the other number is higher or lower than this one. The question is if you can do this with better than 50% odds. Now, that sounds ridiculous.
And apparently you can, as long as you guess a number in between. If you guess the number above, you have 50% odds that the other number is in fact bigger. Right? Well, it's weird, actually. It's a lot weirder than that.
You have no
yeah,
way
the number of numbers
how
is
I picked
infinite.
the numbers. And on top of that, I chose one at random to show you. But shockingly, the answer is yes. You can beat the odds. Say yes, that with random, you have a 50% chance of getting it right. And if the number that you picked is less than both of them, then you also have a 50% chance of getting it right. But if...
Yeah, basically how you have to look at it is that you can overshoot. You're trying to tell if this number is smaller or bigger, basically. And you use it by creating a random number of your own. You're trying to deduct this. So normally you have 50 chance. But if you get in between, you get a greater chance. You get 100% chance. Meaning, logically meaning, that the bigger the gap, the better your chances at understanding what randomness even means in this situation. It's very likely that this is a very clean number, by the way. And we're not going to go to 4 digits. There are also like convenience limits, but like whatever, right? The bigger the gap, the greater your chances to improve the odds. In the grand scheme of things, you could say this is stupid because there are infinite numbers, and this could be like a 7-digit number in actuality. And you randomize a number based on, well, your senses, I guess. Like, technically, negative numbers are less likely, more digits are less likely. You kind of actually can deduct whether the revealed number is going to be smaller or bigger. But at the same time, this kind of puzzle like pisses me off because it's useless. It's too mathematical.
So back in the day, you'd call up the pizza place and you'd say, "I'd like it." Would bring the pizza.
Basically, the technology has improved, but deliveries don't actually knock on your door anymore and deliver straight to your door, and even have problems finding your door. Funny thing is, I have bumped into a person who still asked for directions and found the exact street, was standing on the exact street he was looking for. And he still asks for directions, not just me, but someone else as well. Like, people can be so fucking lost, it's crazy. It's one of those funny jokes that you can look at one clock and sort of have an idea of what time it is. But when you look at the second clock and it shows you a different time, all of a sudden, you're just incredibly confused. But there's a chance that you will be confirmed with your beliefs. I don't know. I tend to just, like, run around aimlessly until I bump into the thing that I'm looking for.
4 years of therapy in 1 minute. You are what you think. Garbage in, garbage out. Emotions aren't problems, they are signals. Fear means something's important to you. Anger means your boundaries were crossed. Anxiety means you live in the future. You need to come back to the present. Habits shape your life, not motivation. Change your habits, change everything. Your past
I mean, your life is how you take actions in life.
is a book. Read it, don't live in it. Triggered by others, that's a reflection. What you judge is what you haven't healed or haven't accepted. Control is a myth. The only power you have is your decisions. At the end of the day, you are the architect and your life is your design.
It's just proof that you cannot cram too much information in 1 minute. Because that's not how time works. Now I have to spend my time and unpack every single sentence for myself and see if it's true or not. Fact check it, basically. This is why this sort of cramming is more interesting as a way of cramming. It's like people will attempt this on TikTok to cram information like this and to try and sell it as a pill, but in reality, you will learn absolutely nothing by listening to her. I guarantee you 100%, you learned absolutely nothing. Which is why my videos are usually 1 hour long. I need to give you either context or variety. Instead, you just got anxiety for not learning anything for whole minutes. You could have learned so many things for a whole minute and you couldn't quite do it, didn't you? How sad and pathetic is that?
AI can actually be pretty cool. AI generate a picture.
I mean, people are so upset about AI replacing artists, and it's just like, who cares? And always the best AI tool is search. Bring back the ability to search and find things across the internet because internet has a lot to offer. Very simple.
Of course. Oh, lemon.
Guys, I got it. I got it.
Oh, I'm surprised. I'm surprised. Oh my days. All right.
I'm gonna buy a lemon, guys.
Okay. If you don't have a lemon, Furco Pro. Look.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still the same color. Yeah.
It's over, guys. Lemon wins. They have been defeated, bro. That is the craziest thing that ever happened on the internet, I feel like. That most people don't understand. Imagine you selling, you build a business on something and Lemon just steals your customers. They're fucking crazy.
You know, if you actually think about it, slaves used to work all day, every day with no pay.
Oh, I love this shit. I love comparison to slavery because holy shit, your mind gets blown. Not only slaves had a place to live and had friends, and didn't have to worry about food and all these survival situationships. What else is there in life for a slave to want anyways? We always gonna default to slavery of some kind, it's just we cannot communicate enough to be able to express that this is still slavery. And forever will be that way, my friends, forever. Some will be below and some will be above. Some will work for you and you will work for someone else. The real takeaway is that things don't tend to change. They just tend to look different.
We get paid, but the money we make, we spend on food, water, and shelter. We are still slaves. We are slaves to the system. The only thing that has changed is the illusion of freedom. And this is my theory as to why we have the cost of living.
Technically, you talk with your dollar. Not just vote, but literally have conversations with your dollar because you come up to people who deliver services for you. It's just like, do you need these shoes? Do you need this and that? My big question is when the change is going to happen, because the change is going to happen very soon. We will actually leave capitalism behind because we're starting to see past the cracks in the system and how we can get more and more exploited. If people above us get scared that they will lose their grip and they have to use their powers before they die and all that shit, right? This is the way we need to resist dictatorship. People who get old and cranky, they use their powers. This is why I say, like, old people are that much more scary than young people. One thing that slaves did not have the ability to do is move around in significant ways. To be able to have any partner they want. But guess what? In today's world, somehow it feels just as hard. And it's almost like you have to enslave yourself to be able to move around and impress other people. Even I cannot wrap my head around this shit.
Check this out. This is the world's economic center of gravity. And look at the...
Yay, China is winning again.
Rapid shift in the last 20 years. It took.
The funny thing is, it's, yeah, 20 years. Why? Capitalism. Capitalism promotes individuality, and guess where most people live? In these places, in the human portal. So of course it pulls back. Pretty normal.
When did they start making acrylic markers? Okay, look, this is just your regular old school marker. Let me show you what it looks like right here, okay? When you color only...
It looks like shit.
I'll do another coat right in a second, and then I'll do it back over it again, and see if you can tell me where they...
That's crazy to me, dude. Technically, the idea of acrylic, I imagine, is that the marker grips the paper, but does not grip itself, and does not stack on itself. I think that's the idea behind it.
Sir, excuse me. How do you lose a woman? Just be a good guy. How do you...
Just be a good guy, they
Well,
hate
what
that.
happened?
Yes.
There's more bad news.
I do have.
Yep. There's bad news, guys.
Money. That's all you care about, guys. It's money. You don't care.
But that's the reality that we live in. You can be as upset as you want. Not only normal human beings care about money, because it's capitalism, but celebrities also only care about money. Fucking flexism, basically. I don't know. What I personally care is that you make good music, bro.
What
happened?
There's.
I don't know.
Turns out that
I don't know. That sounds cool to get a home. You don't even need Windows or anything reinstalled in my place. These are like fast manufactured. If China starts selling that shit, it's over, dude. The world is in a better situationship.
8 billion people living on Earth is inaccurate, like by a lot.
Apparently, you know?
Do you know what?
But, questionable still. Did someone try to debunk it?
I am pushing
already?
myself at 63. Looks like, and I'm sure you have too. And I'm not interested. We have a choice. We can decay or grow. Comfort is killing us. One skip workout.
Wait. You gotta be comfortable with what you do. It's laziness that kills us. It's not doing enough, and you should not be comfortable with that. I've given up. Alright, whatever. Again, you can still continue improving past any age. And once you adopt amazing principles, you can put those principles in any new situations that you haven't mastered yet. Or was not able to access up to this point. This is why it's so important to set up good principles, because your life can change. But your skills stay the same. Your skill level will remain the same. It cannot be robbed. It is fireproof, my friends. There's a consensus flowing around that 4chan shutting down means that a lot of toxic people are going to spread across the internet. And the funny thing is, the internet is already toxic as fuck. Maybe you haven't opened your eyes yet to the reality of it, but it's not a nice place.
When it is
I don't think you can change internet that much.
you versus a group of people, you are the more powerful person, especially when it comes to a mental or spiritual battle. If they could handle you one-on-one, they would have. So don't feel like you need to back down just because they have strength in numbers. If you're being ostracized...
Yes, Ukraine, stop bitching and moaning and fight back.
If you're someone that's quiet and is not super extroverted, like at work or at school or whatever, and you get picked on or you get fucked with or you get bullied, the reason this happens is because when you are not someone that's constantly socializing with everybody around you and you keep to yourself more, people don't...
Quiet people make me uncomfortable or irritated. I don't know why. First of all, lack of self-reflection. And why would you be bothered by quiet people? This is the shit that I got from others when I was in a hospital for a fucking year. I got to put myself in social situations, and most of the time, people get uncomfortable with me, and it's like, what's the problem? I just wanted to be there, stare at the screen with you. And now you created this fucking problem. It makes me uncomfortable. And they can't explain themselves. They just, you know, want to be left alone. In life, you're gonna realize you are weak and vulnerable to tiny, insignificant things like that. And I'm sorry, bro. You gotta do better.
An incredible message this morning relating to Mike and honor the.
Yeah, I mean, this is Alex Jones' talking point. I almost like lived through this, where Alex Jones was actively talking to military people and trying to get them on his side almost. Not exactly sure what the politics was 10 years ago, but this is not a new thing. All these people in lower ranks, they hold the decisions, whether to listen to their commander or not. They obviously cannot do it separately. They cannot make that decision separately. This is called democracy. Well, most people have to decide to resist something. And the funny thing is, you can vote for, be undecided, or vote against something. That's the flag. Be undecided, vote for, or vote against. And it increases in magnitude of importance. Voting against something is much more important than voting for something. Much more intense. Being undecided is the easiest thing to do. Usually people who vote against, they can also make a lot of people undecided. They can pull them back. So what you need to understand is not how to convince military to join your pressure group of politics, but how to teach people the full extent of democracy, or what it means. See, when we're voting in the apartment building of what to invest into next, some people just don't want to spend money on that shit. Some people have better things to do with their money. So why would you force and drag them into debt for something that potentially doesn't even matter? Which is a heating system. Oh wow, we lose so much heat through walls and whatnot. But I don't think it's that important. So we're literally dragging people to pay thousands of dollars just because of democracy. That's not democracy. This can be vetoed by people who go against. Because for financial decisions, I feel like 50% of people have to be, in general, voting for the damn thing. Or then decide to vote for with their dollars. If there's enough of them that are rich and capable of actually investing into this, they can do their own thing and benefit all of us without dragging anyone. Democracy is a very weird thing, bro. I discovered just because half of the people decide something, and yes, if the other side is undecided and weak, congratulations. But there can be enough people who go against and chop away the power dynamic. Because going against is -1 point. It's not 0 anymore. -1. You are actively blocking the decision. You're going to create more problems down the road if people attempt to pass something. And technically, the military is very intimidating in that sense, and whatever they decide is basically the way.
The easiest way to find train tracks method.
Best way to get abandoned places. Let's fucking go. Because train tracks fucking suck balls. I mean, trains in general suck balls. These fucking trash, bro. Best way to find abandoned places. I mean, I have collected such extensive list of reasons why trains suck bad, and this is just a funny little piece, cherry on top.
Open
Very
Google
funny.
Earth and find the railroad tracks, and follow them until you find old factories or house built on the tracks.
You'll find them, bro. And then what? Do not go to abandoned factories? Whoa. Have a lot of alarms. It's near impossible finding abandoned factory that's safe. I had a friend to go in one of them, and he got fined. Yay.
Forbes and Wikipedia.
Oh, that's nice.
Lewis Capaldi's estimated net worth is $10 million. I've got less than £200 in my bank account right now. So who the fuck's got my 10? Who the fuck is it? I've had the same bedroom since I was 12 years old, and you mean to tell me there's £10 million sitting? I've got...
Well, the dude, whoever you pay rent to is rich right now.
fucking New York wallpaper. Who the fuck has put this false information on the internet? If the taxman sees that, I'm fucked. According to the latest reports...
See you guys next time.